Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're here on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to be making gumbo today. I've been told that my gumbo is the best in the world, and so I thought I'd make a video and show you how to make it, what I use and what ingredients and how it all comes together. All right. Now, what you have to understand, first of all, is this is a recipe that I've developed over time, experimenting and trying new things. And about 10 years ago, I kind of settled into sort of how it all comes together the best, and I pretty much follow that same thing every time. But I can't tell you teaspoons or cups or anything like that. I just kind of know it when I see it. So I'll try to show it to you how it should look today. All right, let's go through the ingredients real quick. I've got two types of shrimp here. I've got some frozen shrimp that are detailed and deveined, and these are 21 to 30 count. I usually use 2 bags of frozen, and then I'll get 1 fresh, and I usually try to get these pretty big. These are 10 to 15 count, so they're pretty big. We're gonna peel those during one of the breaks here, but you can see they're pretty big shrimp, and they're fresh, so right out of the Gulf. I also you can usually find these in your store, gumbo crabs. They're just boiled crabs that have been shelled and just have the base and the legs, and it soaks up all the juice, and it's really good. It's seafood okra gumbo, so I got a bag of okra, frozen. Over the years, I've tried fresh many times. There's not that much difference. The frozen works just fine, and it's easy to just grab a bag like that. All right, moving on to the crab meat. I got 3 types of crab meat I'm gonna use today. The first one that goes in is the blue crab puree. I get this from my Winn-Dixie. And basically, there's no texture to this. It's just kind of the pureed crab flavoring. So it just kind of thickens up the gravy or the roux and adds that crab flavor. Then I got the big chunks of lump crab meat, which is, awesome. And I'm trying something new this time. I'm going to put in some crab claw meat. This is just the dark meat from the crab claws, which are very tasty when you have crabs, but we'll see how they do in the gumbo. The only 2 seasonings I use are salt and cayenne pepper. We'll talk about those as we go on. And then as far as vegetables, I've got onion, bell pepper, celery, the Trinity. I got some green onion as well. I use about 2 onions, 2 to 3 onions, 3 to 4 bell peppers, and and a pack of celery. I got a small can of tomato paste. And then I've got some Zatarain's crab boil, just a small thing, you don't need much. All right, so that's everything that goes in the gumbo. What we do is we start off with our roux. And roux is basically just flour and oil that's been cooked that's been browned in the skillet. Over the years, started from scratch, where it's just a cup of flour and a cup of oil, and you cook that till it gets dark. Or they have a thing where you can buy pre-made gumbo, and this is not complete, but what it is, it just gets you a little further down the road, because it does take some time to do the roux, and that's where you want to spend your time. You spend the majority of your time on the roux. If you get it perfect, it doesn't matter how you dump the rest of the stuff in, it's going to taste awesome. All right, so I'll get started on the roux, and it takes about an hour or so to do the roux correctly. So I've already started dumping some of this in. This is the store-bought. And again, I can't tell you cups or teaspoons or anything like that, but I'll show you about, if you can watch. So I guess that's about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of the gumbo. Of the roux. And it comes out sort of like a dried mud there, you can see. We'll add a little bit of oil to it and we'll turn the heat on high. And you're just gonna stir this in. We'll show you how it starts to get. Switch spoons real quick. All right, so we're gonna kind of mix that together. Starts off looking like mud. At the end of it, you want it looking with the consistency of melted chocolate. You can see it's starting to get that way now. Add a little bit more oil. Okay. You see, you want to cover the bottom of the pan, and we'll talk about how much when we get toward the end, because this takes a little time. So we're gonna get it all mixed in there. Melted chocolate. All right. basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook this on high, between medium and high. You may at times want to fluctuate it when it starts to smoke a little bit. The goal is to get this as dark as possible without burning. The color we're looking for at the end of the day is going to be a dark purple. All right, and we're gonna turn the video off for a second. We'll come back when this is closer to the end and we'll talk about, and we're also gonna, while we're on break, we're gonna chop all the vegetables. Chop everything and get it ready to go in the gumbo, because you want all that ready right when the roux is ready. So you get a few minutes. All right, we're back. So I timed it this time to see, it's been about an hour that we spent. We chopped all the vegetables and got everything else ready. But I've also been working with the roux, and I really watched my times. So I pretty much started off on high and then went to the, as it got hotter and started to cook more, I went down to about 6. Continued to stir. I also added in a little, over here, the oil. I added in a little extra oil as we went through, just to keep it creamy, and we'll talk about the consistency in a minute. And then I went down to 4, and then I pretty much got down to 2 as it started to turn dark purple. So in the next step, I want to have everything kind of ready to go, because I don't want it to sit too long without having everything in it, so it doesn't burn the pan. Because once I put the vegetables in there, it's gonna it can burn if you let it sit too long. So what we have ready to go is the chopped vegetables: onion, bell pepper, celery, and green onion. I've got 2, and I use, these are 4-cup water holders. I've got 1 full and 1 half. And then I've got the tomato paste already open, so it's ready to just put in there. And those are the next 3 things that go in. So, all right, so let's move back over to the roux. See where we are. And we started off with a kind of a light brown color. Now it's starting to really get darker. Bring the heat up a little bit. And what we're looking for is a deep purple. Not only my favorite color of roux, but also one of my favorite bands. So a little smoke on the water for you. Anyway, all right, so I don't know, what do you think? I'll ask my assistant to give me the thumbs up. Looking good. All right, we got it up on about medium. Oh, let me, real quick. So what we end up with, because again, I didn't give you any kind of measurings or anything like that. Started off with about a cup of the dried mud from the roux, the store-bought roux. I added about half a cup, or a little bit more than half a cup of oil to get it the right consistency. Let it cook for about 50 minutes, stirring. We want about 1/4 of an inch thick, no more than 1/4 of an inch across the bottom, like thickness across the bottom. And we want it this consistency. It's like a melted chocolate. It doesn't stick on the bottom, but it's kind of a little dry there. All right. A creamy consistency. That's what we're looking for. All right, and in the next step, we're gonna go vegetables. Let that start to sizzle. Get everything in there. And then what I do is I try to coat all the vegetables with some of the roux. Mix it around in the mud. But you see, if you let it sit too long, it's gonna start burning, because it's gonna dry up. So we want to get it all coated with the roux. So all the vegetables have some of the roux on them. They're really mixed in good. All right, now the flavor starts going. Okay, so we want it like that. Then we're going to add in the water. And it's usually 1 full of this, and then a little bit more. Got 2 cups ready. But not much more today, about right there. So you want it about halfway full. We can add more if we need some later, but give it a good stir. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. All right, and then we're going to add in our tomato paste. real good. Kind of a soupy kind of texture at this point. All right, and this is the point where I add the first bit of seasoning. And like I said earlier, all I use is cayenne and salt. So I don't know how much this is, but we'll sprinkle across the top. Cayenne pepper. Gotta be careful with this one. So try to see, that's about right there. Give it another good mix. Now the hard part is done. So this will be the base for our gumbo as we move forward. So what I'm gonna do is and I do this, I mean you can set the different times, but I set the timer for 2 hours. Because at the end of 2 hours it's gonna be all ready. And at certain intervals throughout that time, I'll add in different of the remaining items. But first we're gonna let that cook for about 30 minutes. So we'll see you at 1:30 left on the clock. All right, be back. All right, well, we're back. You can see by the clock that we're about 1 hour and 30 minutes to go till it's ready. Again, I set a countdown because that lets me know when to put the rice in and everything. All right, so at an hour and a half, or after a half hour's passed from the time you started the clock, we're gonna put in the, let's see how it looks first. Oh yeah. Yeah, those vegetables are cooking down good. It's still pretty thick. The color's great. All right, so the next thing we're gonna put in is the blue crab puree. And again, I said like this kind of looks disgusting actually, but it is pureed blue crab. And I used it one time and I thought it really helped, so I've kind of made it a standard thing in here. So we'll drop that in there, it's pretty frozen. And then put the top back on, simple. Let that cook down. Again, I've got it on medium temperature and I've got the rest of my stuff ready to go. And then of course, you know, anytime you do this, you want to go as you clean as you go. So I'll throw some things away while we're on break. See you in a minute. Oh, next time we come back is going to be with 1 hour to go. So we're going to cook this another 30 minutes by itself, and then we'll add some more ingredients as we go forward. All right, see you in 30 minutes. All right, we're back after a half hour. So we got an hour left on the clock, and we're gonna, and I want to stress this, that when you do your roux, you've got to be standing by and watching this thing because it will burn in a heartbeat if you don't pay attention. But once you get past that point and you get all the vegetables in, you can chillax. Just, you don't have to check it and stir it every couple of minutes. It should be good to go. All right, so we're gonna check where we are. Oh yeah. Oh, woo! If you could smell this right now, oh my God, look at that. Look at the thickness. Oh yeah. All right, so the next thing I add on the gumbo, the world's greatest gumbo, is we're gonna go with the okra. So do that. And then we're also going to do at this point, we're going to use gumbo crabs. And I'll show you what we got here. This is where I put the gumbo crabs in. So gumbo crabs are basically just crabs that have been broken off the leg and the area here, the centerpiece of the crab where you get the nice meat and stuff like that. So what this will do is it'll soak up all the gumbo. And I like them. I think they're really tasty when you get them, once you get them cooked and everything. But they are a little messy because, you know, you're peeling a crab and you're peeling the little parts out of them. I usually break them in half, make sure they're all kind of broken in half. So you fit about one in a bowl. Let that go. All right, we're gonna stir this in. And kind of stir the bottom, make sure it's not sticking or anything. It's feeling really good. And I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, up to about 4. All right. So what we have left, we've got the crab meat, the shrimps, and that's it. So I usually put a crab meat in and the shrimp about 20 to 30 minutes before the clock's gonna run out. So in about another 30 minutes. And at that time, you would also start your rice if you want to have a little taste testing. So we're going to do that today. And then, you know, like I said, we're going to clean as we go as we clean. And not much left at this point. A few ingredients left. So 30 minutes, I'll see you back here. Thanks. All right, we're back and our time's almost up. So I'll show you what I got left. I got the lump crab meat. I got the crab claw meat. I got the what I call the medium shrimp, 20 to 30, and the bigger jumbo daddies. All ready to go in, peeled and deveined. So let's take a look at what we got. Oh man, that is smelling good. Look at those crabs cooking. All right, it's looking good. Let's go with some crab meat. Oh, yeah. Crab claw meat. I'm gonna run out of space here, huh? Shrimps. And then put the final jumbo in. All right. Yeah. A little bit over. It's all good. It's all good. Oh wait, one last ingredient. And that's the crab oil. Now again, I don't measure, so I'm just gonna drop a little in there. Let that cook. I'm probably gonna get a little bit out of there just to make it so it fits good. All right, see you in about, oh, and we're gonna make the rice. So see you in about 30 minutes. All right, if you timed it perfectly, your gumbo should be ready right when you have your rice ready. We've got 2 taste testers ready to go right here of the rice. When you're doing your rice, you don't have many comments, everybody makes it differently, but just make sure you wash it good to get the coating off of it so it's not so starchy. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks good. All right. Stir. And I've got a little green onion chopped up for some garnish. Make our other one. And that is, my friends, the best gumbo in the world. We'll be eating it now. Thank you.